Say it with me. Having fun isn't hard when you have an imaginary card. That sounded better in my head. Don't click away. Stick around. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Savannah Vanderna. I go by Savvy C, and welcome back to Savvy C Scoop. Today's video is part 2 of a series where I'm explaining various parts of the Paris/Île-de-France public transportation system. Part 1, if you haven't checked it out already, I talked about where to buy tickets and what a ticket grants you access to. And now in this video, I'm going to explain the other way to access all various forms of public transportation in and out of the city, which is with the Imaginaire card, this bad boy right here. So in this video, I'm going to break it down into 3 different parts. Part 1 is just going to be a basic definition of what the card is and its advantages. Part 2 is going to talk about the different levels of membership and which card fits best for you and your needs. And then part 3, I'm going to do a step-by-step guide and to show you how to apply for a Navigo card. But first, before we get into it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and comment down below any other subjects you might want me to cover in the future around this series, any other advice or tips you can share. Maybe there's something I forget to mention in this video, please share it down below and share the wealth and let everyone in on this knowledge of something that can be a bit complicated, but hopefully is not too scary after these videos. So let's get into it. Before we get to part 1 of this video, last week's video I got a question about what to do if you get stopped by security in the metro with a Navigo card versus a ticket, and this is what happens. I got this the other day. You just give them your card, scan it, and you're good to go. Starting off with part 1, the Imaginaire card grants you unlimited access to all Paris/Île-de-France public transportation. With it, rather than having a single-use ticket where you insert it and it comes out, you go through the turnstile or walk into the bus, wherever it may be, and once you exit that station, leave the bus, leave the tram, it becomes null and void. With the card, you just tap it with this side facing up and your picture and personal number facing down. On this purple area, you scan it, the green arrows will appear and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about counting the tickets or wondering if you can make this fare or that fare, calculating in your mind how much it'll cost for you to go to any place in a week or a month's time. It's all here, unlimited, and it's a huge relief not having to worry about that. The other biggest advantage of it too, and what I really like about it, and this is something kind of new-ish, that it's also dubbed as a pass culturel. So RATP, which is the overarching name for the public transportation system here, partner with over 300 museums, movie theaters, and just overall cultural experiences to give everyone who has a Navigo card, Imaginaire card, access there for either free, which hello, we love free, 99 over here, or for reduced ticket fare, which to me is the best way to experience the city, experience France, to see it by way of culture, learning new things, having new experiences, and making great memories. So that's a huge perk and a plus of having this card, and something that I really love and appreciate about it. And to top it all off, cherry on top, it shows you with this website, which will be linked in the description box, literally by arrondissement and by département dans la banlieue, in the suburbs, what places exactly by name break down accept this card, and so you can just check it out on a weekend or when you have a free moment and just pull up with your card and you're good to go. Moving on to part 2, who can get an Imaginaire card? Everyone, of course. However, based off your age, student status, and whereabouts you want to travel to, the price will vary. And in this section, I'm going to break that down. So first up, I'm going to talk to my fellow students out there. Shouts to us. That's what brought me to Paris. I'm here getting my master's. I'm done now. About to graduate. Whoop, whoop. And so this is the card membership that I use. So I'll start off with that. So if you're a fellow student like me, you have proof of enrollment and you're under 26 years old, then you qualify for the year-long Imaginaire étudiant card. This is 350 euros, or it was about $375 if my memory serves me well, 375 US dollars. And that's just the one-time fee you pay. You can also pay with installments, which I'll share in part 3, but I recommend just doing it all at once, kind of rip the band-aid off, if you will. And this gives you unlimited access, again, as they all do, through all 5 zones. So I mentioned this in part 1, but I'll reiterate for those maybe who haven't watched it. There's 5 zones that make up the overarching Île-de-France region, with Paris being right in the center of it. So Paris being at the core of it, all 20 arrondissements, that's the formal city of Paris, is zone 1. And then think of it as like rings outside of it that are zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. And with this access and with this level of card, you get access to all 5 zones, which I feel like is just the best thing going. You have no restrictions, there's no place you can or cannot go. You can go to both airports, both 2 main airports is a third, but you can go to Charles de Gaulle early, you can go to Disneyland, like all these other different places, go to the suburbs, no problem, La Défense, like wherever, and it won't impact your card or your level of membership. Then moving on from there, if you're a fellow student that's under 26 and under 16, you also get the same access of going to all 5 zones. You'll be paying 350 euros as well, but you'll be under the Imaginaire Scolaire. So it's just a bit, just different titles, I think, just because of the age. And again, that gives you access to all 5 zones. Then after that, I'm not sure if any of you are under 11 that are watching this, but hi if you are, but the odds are probably low. So maybe if you're a parent, a guardian, older sibling, or just all around loved one watching this, and you have a little one that you look after and know that would like to use public transportation, because don't get it twisted, these Paris kids are drippy, okay? They know what's up on the metro, and they can have a Navigo card too. So if you know someone that's under 11 years old that wants to have access to all 5 zones and travel around as they should experience the world and not be afraid of it, you can get them the same card. The name is escaping me right now, I'll put the name up here, but that is 24 euros for them. Now moving on to those who are above 26 years old. I know, sorry, this is why people have midlife crisis when they're or quarter life crisis, because things like this, make them feel like they're old for no reason. But age is nothing but a number, okay? Time is elusive, it's man-made. But for those who are above 26 years old, you have 3 options to access Navigo, and again, go through and experience the city, travel where you would like. And so I'll break down those 3 options. So the first of the 3 is weekly, and I'm gonna look at my notes so I get these numbers correctly. So for all 5 zones, it's 22 euros and 80 cents to get all 5 zones, and you pay that once a week. Then the second option gets you zones 2 and 3 only, and that's 20 euros and 85 cents. Then the third option will get you access to only the zones 3 and zone 4 for 20 euros and 20 cents. And then the last final option gets you access to only zones 4 and 5, which is 19 euros and 85 cents. So you just pay that fee once a week at a physical station. Maybe, can you do it online? I'll check if you can do it online, and I'll put that answer up here. But I believe you just do it physically at the stations. Just pay that and you're good to go at either the ticket station with a person, or just at the kiosk places. Now, the second option is monthly. For this type of card, it refreshes and starts on the 1st of each month. So it's not one of those things where, let's say if you pay on the 3rd of the month in May, then in June 3rd it'll refresh. It'll refresh regardless if you pay May 3rd or May 12th. It'll restart again on June 1st. So do your best if you pick the monthly option to pay on the 1st of each month, so you get your money's worth and use that card for the full month, full duration of that month. So for this, the breakdown for all 5 zones is 75 euros and 20 cents for the monthly option. Then for only the 2nd and 3rd zones, that's 68 euros and 60 cents. Then for the 3rd and 4th zones, it's 66 euros and 80 cents. Then for the 4th and 5th zones only, it's 65 euros and 20 cents. And again, too, of course, I'll write this down and have links to this in the description box below. Also, too, what's important for this one, as well as the last option, which is yearly, keep in mind and maybe sure just look for it, or maybe just bring it up. If you're working in France, internship, CDI, CDD, etc., maybe even freelance as well, advocate and look for your company, your employer, to reimburse you up to 50% at least, maybe even fully. For me, I had an internship. I was on a convention de stage for 6 months, and with that, I got my Navigo, my annual pass, reimbursed up to 50%. So definitely look out for that. So, you know, that's what it was, 75 euros and 20 cents a month can be cut in half. So look out for that. Then last but not least, the third option is yearly. So this is just like the student ones, as mentioning previously, but for those who are over 26 years old. So for this one, all zones, and it's a little high, so, you know, brace yourself, but, you know, it is worth it at the end of the day. All zones 1 through 5, is 827 euros and 20 cents, which is a discount because you only pay 11 months rather than 12 months. So they knock off that 12th month because you're paying probably a lot. So, you know, keep that in mind. Then if you want to do only zones 2 and 3, then it's 754 euros and 60 cents. Then zones 3 and 4 is 734 euros and 80 cents. And zones 4 and 5 are 717 euros and 20 cents. And again, this falls typically under the 50% reimbursement. So look for that, ask your employer, manager, etc., HR about getting those benefits, because that can really help you, you know, have this be an option for you. And you know, this is the best way, I feel like, to travel around and get to work. So I'm pretty sure it's pretty universal, but obviously nothing's 100%, but definitely advocate for it because that is important for you to get to work. And now moving on to part 3. Last and certainly not least, you're now at part 3, where I'm gonna walk you guys through the process of applying for an Imagine R card. I'm gonna do so as a student since that's what I applied for previously and just feel most comfortable talking about. All right, so first up, you go to navigo.fr. This is the hub main website. Then from there, you'll scroll down and look for Souscrire à Imaginaire. That's just like subscribe to it, join it. Then from there, either log in, which obviously you guys wouldn't because it'll be your first time you're making an account, and then you click create a new account. Then from there, you first do your user information. So you just fill out basic things, last name, first name, date of birth, email address. For your email address, I highly recommend choosing an email that you have access to with or without your host institution if you're doing it as a student, maybe your work email address, etc. So that you just have access to this forever, because even if you stay past your student or you leave that job or whatever, you don't want to attach to something else that you don't have access to. And I can't, as you see, cannot go beyond this stage, unfortunately, so I'll just go back and maybe add screenshots that I can look up and see, but I already have an account, so it won't let me go beyond that. So instead, I will just walk you guys through the steps and then add in screenshots. Hopefully I will find them. So after you put in your first, last name, birthday, and email address that again you have access to regardless of your school, work, whatever, then you move on to putting your address in, and the address section is also very important because you want to pick a place that you can easily pick up mail. Mail in France, especially as a foreigner, is a bit of an adjustment to get used to, but just you'll get the hang of it the longer you're here. So just make sure you pick a place you can pick it up, no problem. Then after that, you upload your picture. Now, the picture is very important. It is very important because it'll be there for the life and the duration of your accounts. I think unless you completely make a whole other separate account and have to re-go through that application process, this picture is going to be there forever. I mentioned earlier that I've lived here since September 2020, and that picture I uploaded back then is still the picture I have now in 2022. So keep in mind that, one, it fits the descriptions requirements that they're asking for, size-wise, that you see your full face clearly, things like that. But also it's a picture that you like and you don't mind seeing for time to come. Then after that, under Establishment, that's where you need to add your proof of being a student, or I think as well if you're applying for this as someone that's over 26 and working for a job, be your proof of work, proof of enrollment, etc. Some document that you clearly state that I'm here for this and that's why I can apply for this because I qualify. Exactly, blah, blah. So after that, then for me as a student, I added my school zip code and again, along with the proof of enrollment letter. Then after that, you move to the payment section. Then if you're paying for this with a card, you can either do it with a credit card. I use my debit, but I paid under credit or a French bank account. So at the time when I paid for it back in 2020, I didn't have a French bank account yet, which, oof, that's a whole other video of the French banking system here. But I didn't have one quite yet. So it's okay though. You can use a carte bleue, Visa or MasterCard to pay, or you can do your French bank account with the IBAN option and the BIC numbers that you put in. So you can you have 3 options to pay. Oh, and 2, I forgot to mention this and look at my notes now, that make sure if you're the one paying that it's the same information you put at the start of the application, and if you're not, just like keep that in mind. So, you know, make sure everything matches. Then for the payment options, you have 3 ways to do so. The first being you can pay in increments. So you can do this with the French bank account, where at first you'll pay 122 euros and then 6 payments of 38 euros. That's if you do the 350 euro student option. Or you can pay one time with the carte bleue, Visa or MasterCard, or last you can do another form of payments. And that's if you have like an American Express or like another type of card or whatever, you can use that. Then after that, you put that information in, you're good to go, put your address in, billing information is all good to go. Then you go to the summary. The summary page is really key because it allows you to make any last minute changes, any edits. And for this, just really go through line by line and make sure that you're putting everything in correctly, putting everything properly, and you're good to go. Because what really sucks about processes like this, and just kind of things in general as a foreigner living in France, is that one mistake, one misspelling, wrong, address, mix up of numbers, etc., can really set you back, and you can either get denied, rejected, and you have to restart the process all over again, which I don't want you to do. So really be vigilant and mindful of that. Then afterwards, check that you certify the information that, you told the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, blah, blah. And then you're sent in and you're good to go. You'll get like a confirmation email after the fact. For mine, it took a little over 2 weeks to get mine received in the mail. I believe there is a pickup option, but I advise just to have it sent to you directly, because you never know with pickup, it could go wrong. So just have it sent to you directly, so you don't have to add like an extra unnecessary errand. And yeah, and that is it for applying for a Navigo card, Imaginaire étudiant card. That's all I got for you guys today for part 2 of this series. Thanks for watching and sticking around to the end. I appreciate it. Bonne chance, as the French would say, with your Imaginaire application process. I hope that this video helped make it more smooth of an endeavor and it's not as complicated or overwhelming as it might have been before you watched this. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and comment down below too, again, any more topics you'd like me to cover throughout this series, and or more tips, tricks, hacks, advice that I've maybe, forgot to mention or left out or just didn't know about myself. I'd love to hear more and share the wealth and, keep the conversation going. Stay tuned for part 3 of this series coming to you guys next week, where I'm going to take you guys along with me to the metro, which initially for newbies can seem really chaotic or a bit overwhelming and just all around daunting. But with that video, I'm just going to break it down and make it just easy and simple to understand, and something that you shouldn't be hesitant to use or afraid of, and rather to see the convenience of it and how helpful it can be. So stick around and stay tuned for that. As always, I'm sending my love to wherever you are in the world where you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in part 3. Bye!